Welcome to another episode of Discover Harmony Florida. I'm Kristen McCary, and I'm here with your host,
Janine Corcoran, broker for the Corcoran Connection, a real estate company.
And so in today's episode, we're kind of sticking with a history theme for February. So what is, people often ask, like, where do these names come from? Like the street names and the neighborhood names in Harmony. So Janine thought it would be a great idea to go over where they came from.
And maybe you'll find it quite boring. I don't know. But, there is history in Harmony and how it was developed and things like that. And so some of the names, most of the names were named after plants, bushes, for instance. And the origins of the name that we'll go over is the original inner circle part, in between the three circles. Birchwood neighborhood, Drake.
I like to call that historic harmony.
Oh, that's historic harmony. That's beautiful.
It's much better than mature
Harmony, Maine.
Or me. Yeah, exactly. Whatever. There's so many different
so many names.
But I like to go with historic harmony because this was the original developer who, had different thoughts or whatever with the houses and
great
stuff.
Vision.
Great visions.
Martha and Jim Lentz, and they put a lot of thought in the community and did a lot of research, and they came up with a great community. So everyone knows where Beargrass Road is.
Now, can we tell the story of when...
Absolutely.
So my grandparents decided to purchase a house on Beargrass, and for whatever reason, the 5-year-old children in our family couldn't stop laughing at them moving into Bearass. And so there's been some
humor on
yes.
Beargrass, whatever it is called. But so it's saying, and every plant has, how that is, I'm trying to think of a name of a plant that you might call like a poinsettia. It has a different like a
scientific name.
Yeah, exactly. So heaven help me with these, but Britain's beargrass is Nolia Brittania. No, Brittania. Britton, Britannia. Okay, Q's over here laughing at me, but it occurs only in a scrub and other dry habitats in 6 central Florida counties, including Osceola, and it's listed as an endangered species. Now, granted, this information I'm getting came from original, like when Harmony started in 2003.
Right.
So I don't know, I don't know whether or not, sorry, I can't be on my phone and do it at the same time because the text came through. I was like, what'd she say? Anyway, but it's typically found in upland scrubs, a habitat that is rapidly being lost to urbanization. It looks like yucca in that it has long leaves coming from the central source with flowers appearing. I guess we could show a picture of it.
Yeah. I'm curious to see. Now, okay, I'm going to throw a card. I know you hate when I do this because I'm going to ask you, but does it look like a plant that's on Beargrass? Like, did they go so far? Did the builder go so far as to put the plant in on the street that it's on? Because if you think about it, and listen, I'm totally speculating. It's been a day already.
Can you Google that name?
Let's see.
Because I'm looking at it on my phone and it doesn't, look like it is. It would have been good to have someone from the nature.
Oh yeah, we should have had that on.
They could have talked about all the different.
Yeah. Okay, so let's look at the images for these. I guess they could be. I feel like they are. Aren't those like the little shrubs that we have in the?
Oh, they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So fancy that. Okay. We let's see. I'm gonna keep this open. We can Google the other names.
How about bracken fern? What kind of plant is that?
Ooh,
it would be a
bracken fern.
The frond of this fern. Yep. It just looks like a regular fern to me.
Yeah, it does. And so, but did they plant? Oh, now we got to go out and look.
I know. Now we got to. I don't know. That's a great question. I'm sure we have.
Because how cool would that be? I mean, they put a lot of thought into a lot of these things that, I feel like that would not have gotten past them.
Oh wow.
Okay. All right. So there's bracken fern. So basically, they're all just names of plants, right? Like all the street names are different names of plants, right?
Yeah, different plants, flowers. Like buttonbush is...
That's another one I used to laugh at. I don't
the
know
names
why.
are so hard. Cephalanthus occidentals is a wetland shrub having white pincushion-like flowers during the summer. It looks like one of those...
Yeah, like
wishnik. Those things.
What are the dandelions? Is that what those are called? But yes, you're right. Like it kind of looks like this. Oh, I shouldn't have clicked on that.
Yeah, it says button bush is frequently along the edge of Buck Lake and some of the open wetlands around Harmony.
Yeah, how neat. That's really cool that they like came up with that concept of naming the streets after. It sounds like even native plants around Harmony.
That would be a cool a scavenger hunt.
Ooh, we should put one together.
Right. Like go ahead and see if you can find.
Right.
I guess we'd have to find them before we have a scavenger hunt.
We'd have to go Nature Conservancy, please. If the
I love looking at people's plants. Like when I walk around, I'm like, what kind is that? What kind is that?
Right.
So one of our neighbors, Dan, across the street, has he has a green thumb, and his garden just blooms. He has so many flowers blooming different times of the year.
Right.
So one dies, then the next one's blooming, and so my plant friend Deanna planted a plant. I had no idea what it was called. I'd never seen it, but it got really tall and ugly to me.
Right.
And then Dan came over and let me know that, it was due for a trim a while ago. It's like, take your scissors, Dan.
Have at it.
But then he was, giving me all the lessons. And I really do have a green thumb. I have tons of flowers in my porch, in my backyard.
Right.
When I retire, that's what I plan to do. I just plan to do the gardens all the time.
Yeah, and we actually talked about that too, a while ago when we were talking about kind of your morning routine. You do start, you have a kind of routine. You like to spend some time in your garden and kind of keeping your plants alive. Me, on the other hand, I did not get the green thumb. I'd like to have a green thumb. It's very, very, very brown. I kill the most unkillable plants. I've killed them, so I'm not very good at it.
It's so hard to kill plants in Florida because it's just... you cut them off and they grow back.
Well, have you been to my house lately?
That's true.
They're very thirsty, I think, or they're too watered. But
what about you? What about anything? You have one on the street you live on?
Yeah. So we have for cup seed is one of the plant names or road names. Sorry, my screen went different. So it's a high climbing vine, and it grows in wetlands and wet woodlands. It's up to 40 feet long. And although the leaves resemble the leaves of the grapes, the stems do not have tendrils for clinging like grapevines. The seeds are black, up to an inch long, and they're scooped out in the form of a cup. So that's cup seed, which is where I resided for a very long time.
How do you say the name?
It didn't have one, I don't think. Let's see. Oh, it did. It says you should Google it and pronounce it yourself.
It's hard, right? Calicocarpum.
Yep, Tyanil. I can't see that far. This is terrible. I'm not a scientist, and I'm not. I don't speak Latin, which I feel like most of these names are Latin, right? Isn't that typically what they are? But we also have. Let's see. Like I even just really quickly Googled cordgrass because I was like, okay, let's see if they stuck with it right through the different names, and cordgrass is a plant. It is a plant, smooth cordgrass. So they did for that. But if you think about it, dark sky, I mean, that makes sense. We're in a dark sky community. Let's see, sundrop. I wonder if sundrop is you think? Let's see. Google it. We should have done research. Well, sundrop is definitely a soda.
No, I feel like there's a house that had a beautiful garden in the back, and they mentioned something about sundrop flowers or something.
Yeah, maybe it is. Oh, yep, it is. Look at that. And then what's the other habitat?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Well, we even think of when you go back to the lakes, you have sagebrush.
Yep, sagebrush and
oakmark.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so there are. They did do well and keep with the.
They did.
With the nature themes, and that's kind of what Harmony was all about. You know,
absolutely.
we absolutely love about it, and you know.
I was bringing a buyer this weekend, and they were from out of state. They wanted to get out of the cold. And as we were passing the streets, the one thing I noticed is the trees have gotten so big that when I was driving on the golf cart, like I was trying to point out the street lights, you know, the dark sky compliant,
right,
you know,
the
domes
yeah.
that keep the light pollution out at night, and I couldn't see them because the trees were so, they were covered, you know, there's so much,
right.
yeah, so, but anyway, so she thought that was really neat,
yeah.
you know what I mean, so I don't even know if people even that live here know half of this stuff.
Right.
That go, you know, that how it originated, the whole story and whatnot. But,
right.
But some cool stuff, and we, you know, not every community has a story.
No, not at all.
You know,
a lot of them are just, you know, subdivisions. So
if anyone would like a copy of these names,
yes,
be happy to email them. Just reach out to us and give us a call, and we'll send it along over. But it's just great to know, you know, information about your community.
Absolutely. And, you know, speaking of information and history, we actually have another podcast. It's called Discover St. Cloud, Florida. So if you're interested in St. Cloud and the greater St. Cloud area, check that out. But this most recent episode, I believe it's episode number 10, actually goes over the history of Rodeo Day. So Rodeo Day is a day that we get off in Osceola County on Friday. Why do we get off on Rodeo Day, but not President's Day? If you want to find out, go check out Discover St. Cloud, Florida. The podcast episode, I believe it's going to be number 10. And thank you so much for joining us. You can find us on all your podcast platforms, YouTube, and leave us a comment, rate, review, subscribe, all that good stuff. And let us know if you have any other questions about Harmony and the history. We'd love to share that with you.
Have a great day.